When the emergency lockdown sirens rang across the interspecies dormitory, the last thing the human student named Ray expected was that his alien roommate would collapse in the middle of their shared living space. The sudden metallic howl of the alarm shook the walls, signaling a planetary containment alert, yet the real crisis unfolded not outside, but right in front of him. His roommate, a slender being named Lumo from a distant nebula rich in crystalline dust, swayed as if dizzy from the artificial gravity field. Lumo's luminous skin flickered in unstable pulses, each color shift more frantic than the last. Ray dropped his datapad and sprinted across the room, catching the alien just before he hit the floor. The dorm lights dimmed automatically due to the lockdown protocol. But even in the dusky glow, Ray could see the fever burning like liquid fire beneath Lumo's glowing surface. Ray lowered Lumo onto the reclining couch and steadied him. The alien's breathing came in short, pained waves, each inhale sounding like fractured wind through crystal pipes. Lumo's species never displayed any outward sign of illness under normal circumstances, but this was unmistakably something severe. Their entire form shuddered every few seconds, sending scattered sparks of color into the air. Ray remembered studying that Lumo's species communicated partially through bioluminescent patterns, yet these flashes had none of their usual meaning. They were irregular and uncontrolled, a clear sign of distress. The alarm outside kept echoing while the hallway lockdown blast doors slid shut, sealing the dorm in a stasis of uncertainty. Ray tapped his wristband to access the medical portal, but the lockdown signal blocked all outgoing messages. He cursed under his breath and dragged a portable med scanner from a nearby shelf. The small device hummed with soft energy as he activated it and ran it gently along Lumo's arm. The results projected onto the air in glowing letters: elevated thermal core, unstable luminous flux, irregular neural resonance, potential crystalline fever event. Ray's eyes widened. Crystalline fever was rare and highly dangerous, known to spiral quickly if not treated with proper cooling compounds and resonance stabilization. The command center of the Academy understandably feared cross-species contamination, but Ray knew this illness was not contagious to humans. It was more like an overload of internal energy that built up when Lumo's kind absorbed too much starlight or stress. The challenge was that the recommended treatment required specialized coolant gel and a resonance stabilizer. Neither were stored in the dorm. The Academy infirmary had plenty, but the lockdown meant Ray could not leave or call for help. He set the scanner down, steadied his breathing, and examined Lumo more carefully. The alien's skin shimmered in sharp waves of red and gold, flickering faster than before. A tremor shook their whole body, and their normally calm voice escaped in a faint crackle. Ray placed a reassuring hand on Lumo's shoulder. He knew his roommate could still hear him even in this feverish state. The emergency sirens died down, replaced by an automated voice that warned all students to remain indoors. A potential breach had been detected somewhere in the main hall of the Academy. The outer atmosphere sensors registered an unknown biological presence, prompting full lockdown until the investigation team secured the perimeter. Ray listened only half-heartedly. His priority was Lumo. He grabbed a thermal regulator from the dorm's supply closet. It wasn't meant for medical use, but it could at least reduce internal heat. He adjusted the temperature to the safest low setting and activated the cooling field. A faint haze of chilled air flowed around Lumo's body. The alien's flickering slowed slightly, but it was not enough. Ray paced the room, searching for anything else. His gaze landed on the resonance panel built into the wall, a device used by students to test minor harmonics in alien engineering lessons. It was not a medical stabilizer, but it could produce harmonic waves at specific frequencies. Ray hesitated. The manual warned that misaligned harmonics could further destabilize crystalline species. Yet without any attempt, Lumo's condition would worsen. He moved toward the panel and tapped its controls to activate manual tuning mode. The panel lit up, humming with potential energy. Ray recalled the lectures in alien physiology and the resonance of Lumo's species. Their natural baseline frequency had a soft, rhythmic hum similar to distant wind chimes. Ray closed his eyes, trying to remember the exact pattern Lumo once produced while meditating in their dorm. He adjusted the panel's frequency to something gentle and steady. The panel emitted a soft wave of harmonic energy. Lumo's skin pulsed faintly, reacting to the change. Ray watched anxiously. The aliens' breathing still labored, but the violent fluctuations in their light patterns eased slightly. Encouraged, Ray fine-tuned the frequency. The hum grew smoother. The shimmering in Lumo's skin shifted into clearer intervals, almost matching the resonance pattern Ray aimed for. A faint sigh escaped Lumo, a small sign of relief. Ray felt a flicker of hope, but the relief was short-lived. The lockdown automation suddenly surged power across the dorm systems, causing the resonance panel to glitch. The frequency spiked with a harsh burst of sound. Lumo convulsed, their entire form flaring dangerously bright. Ray leaped forward and slapped the emergency cut switch, stopping the wave just in time. He cursed under his breath again. Improvising was risky. One wrong move, and he could make the fever worse. He needed the proper coolant gel. Ray looked at the sealed dorm door. Behind it, the academy hallways were under strict quarantine. Breaking lockdown was an offense punished severely, yet he could not abandon Lumo. He approached the door panel and examined the emergency override. It required dual biometrics, restricted during lockdown. Ray glanced around the room and spotted the maintenance port near the ceiling, usually used by drones to clean vents. It was small, but accessible if he climbed the storage shelves. That route would lead into the ventilation tunnels, connected to the infirmary corridor. The drones could still move despite lockdown. Ray hesitated only for a moment before deciding. Lumo needed him. Ray dragged a chair, climbed onto the shelves, and pried open the maintenance port. Cool air rushed out. The tunnel was just large enough for him to crawl through. He took a portable med bag and slid inside. The metal shaft echoed with the distant hum of lockdown barriers and mechanical locks. He moved carefully, relying on the faint glow of emergency lights. The Academy security drones floated through the adjacent tunnels, scanning for breaches. Ray hid whenever one passed, pressing himself against the metal walls. After several tense minutes, Ray reached a grate overlooking the infirmary corridor. The hall was empty except for 2 waiting drones. Ray watched as they floated toward the other end, scanning for anomalies. When they disappeared around the corner, he dropped down quietly. He landed softly and darted toward the supply console. His hands flew across the screen as he searched for coolant gel and resonance stabilizer. The console accepted his student access because the lockdown restricted doors, not internal drawers. He grabbed 2 vials of coolant gel and a portable stabilizer unit, securing everything in his med bag. Just as he prepared to return, the drones reappeared at the far end of the corridor. Ray sprinted back to the vent, climbed quickly, and slipped inside just in time before the drones reached the console. They scanned the area, but Ray was already crawling back toward the dorm. By the time he returned through the maintenance port, Lumo's condition had worsened. The alien trembled uncontrollably, their luminous energy flaring dangerously bright. Ray rushed to them and opened the coolant gel. The substance glowed in soft blue hues, designed to absorb excess internal heat. He applied it carefully along Lumo's arms and torso. The gel reacted instantly, dimming the fever's harsh intensity. Lumo's breathing steadied a little. Ray then activated the portable stabilizer. It emitted gentle harmonics tailored for crystalline species. The wave washed over Lumo in soothing pulses. Slowly, the chaotic flickers stabilized into rhythmic patterns. Soft and controlled. Ray knelt beside his roommate, watching with relief as the fever receded. The stabilizer continued its steady hum, anchoring Lumo's energy back into equilibrium. After several minutes, Lumo's skin returned to its normal soft glow. Their eyes opened, still exhausted, but finally coherent. Ray offered a tired smile. Lumo stared at him with gratitude and confusion, then attempted to sit up. Ray helped them and explained everything that happened. Lumo listened quietly, blinking in disbelief that Ray risked breaking lockdown to save them. Before Lumo could say anything, the speakers crackled. The Academy announced that the biological alert had been a false reading caused by a malfunctioning sensor. The lockdown was lifted. Ray felt both amusement and irritation. He had risked so much, yet the threat outside had never been real. Still, he did not regret his choice. Lumo's near collapse was real enough. A team of medical specialists soon arrived to inspect the dorms as part of the lockdown lift protocol. They entered Ray and Lumo's room, scanned the environment, and examined Lumo's condition. The chief medic studied Ray with a mixture of disbelief and impressed approval. Ray braced for reprimand, expecting punishment for accessing restricted supplies and moving through prohibited routes. Instead, the medic acknowledged that though Ray broke procedure, he had acted with clear reasoning and care.